Okay, it's recording. My love spoon has turned up.
Oh, just in time.
Where the fuck is the snake?
Kiri, do you know what snake is in Welsh?
Nadir?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
so it's a bit weird, like snakes on a spoon, which I believe is a spin-off a Samuel L. Jackson film. The snake means health / immortality / fertility. Not bad.
No,
Hello, croeso I
no,
Welsh
let's waste
Wednesdays.
of time.
Hello, welcome to Welsh Wednesdays with me, Kiri Pritchard-Mclean, and this is Gill-Williams. We're both women living in North Wales, chatting about Welsh things, and then trying very hard to speak a little bit of Welsh.
No longer are we going to be apologetic learners. Next time someone asks us, "Oh, ti'n siarad Cymraeg?" Fyddan ni yn deud, yndw, because we are. After a drink, I think I'm like the most Welsh person you've ever met. Just honestly, all around the tavern. We're like, oh, da chi'n iawn, sut o't ti? Paid â poeni. And then the next morning, it all comes undone. I'm like a bad Welsh one night stand.
This episode, we decided that we were going to talk about Santes Dwynwen. Dydd Santes Dwynwen, or diwrnod Santes Dwynwen. I can never decide what's a diwrnod and what's a dydd.
Well, I don't know. Dwynod, I think, is when a Dwynod is the actual physical in its time. This is how I think of it is. So Dwynod here, like it's been a long day, as in today. But dydd is like the noun, the name of.
It's confusing because I asked my Welsh teacher before this about that. I was like, when do you use diwrnod and when do you use dydd? And he was like, paid â poeni. Like, it's not. He was like, no one will ever pull you up and everyone will understand what you mean. The stories about Santes Dwynwen go back further. I think they go back to like the 14th century, which is far before any mention of Valentine. And also, like, we don't celebrate the Saint Valentine. We celebrate like love, whereas we do celebrate Santes Dwynwen and what she did and the story. Whereas we don't really give a shit about Valentine. We just like, it's a nice excuse to send a card, isn't it?
She's quite a tragic character, really. She basically fell in love with a guy who was called Molen Daffodril, which sounds like a shady, poorly written character in a sitcom, I think, just because sounds like daffodil. Her dad, who was the king of the south, well, basically the Brecon, he was called Brycheiniog, I think it's pronounced.
Brycheiniog, is it?
Brycheiniog. He went to her dad and was like, I love your daughter, can we get married? And he said, no, she's being promised to somebody else. And this is where it gets a bit dark. So he threatened to attack her because she'd been promised to someone else.
You're being quite polite about it. The myth goes that he went to sexually assault her.
Yeah. I didn't want to drop the R word, but yeah, basically, yeah, that. So she prayed to the gods to save her, to stop him, and he was turned into a block of ice. She was granted 3 wishes, so she asked for him to be forgiven, which they say shows her compassion and her, just saintly qualities, really. But I would have just left him as a block of ice.
Apparently they call the idea of turning him to a block of ice is like like physically cooling, so when they're like, go and have a cold shower, like, because he's so so it was literally like cooling him down from his basically mad sexual assault that he was about to do. And amazing that her first wish was like, right, defrost my ex-boyfriend. That's way more magnanimous than I would ever be.
It all just sounds a bit too not enough of a punishment.
It's definitely massively played down that he's about to attack her, and then they're like, she drinks a potion and everything's fine. I want the story about where were the repercussions for him, because as opposed to being like, aren't you good, you can forgive him, like, but obviously I'm gonna kill him when your back is turned, is what I'd much rather the story was.
I don't think that happens other than her other wish, which was for him to forget her.
She takes this potion that makes them forget about each other, and they're like, you got 3 wishes, and then she's like, well, defrost him, and then the other one is that Anyone who makes a wish that loves true love's wish will be granted. That's another thing. So any couple that's truly in love and they make a wish, Santes Dwynwen will grant. And the third one is that she will never marry because she's an independent woman.
She is, but she's really shot herself in the foot.
I've heard different stories. I've heard a really nice feminist take on it, that she dedicates herself well to God and her job and also dedicates herself to educating couples about equality, how to be respectful, and how to have equality in a relationship and make sure that everyone is happy and it's not just subservient. So that was sort of the tale that I got told about it. There was actually she loved her job, and I absolutely preach, sister. You're a woman after my own heart. They're like, I'm basically married to my job.
Who am I to piss all over that lovely feminist empowering story? Yeah, she doesn't need a man. I just kind of thought, well, if she had a little bonus night, but she's kind of said no to that forever.
Who knows what the eels were for?
I don't think I need another person in my life, but I like it. That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I'm the same. Is that also my life's really full, so the fact that I've chosen to have a partner, and this partner means I love you so much, I'll make room in my very full life because I want to be with you so much, and that's fine as well. And you know what, I think Santes Dwynwen would be fine with it as well.
I think so too. Her dad was like a top shagger. She's one of 24.
I'm mad, isn't it? They left Brecon and travelled all over, and Bristol, they think Cain settled in, and there's something named after her there. They travelled all over to preach and convert people and set up churches. Now Santes Dwynwen ends up on the fair island of Ynys Môn. Well, in fact, an island off the coast of Ynys Môn. And Ynys Llanwyn is it's like a roaming path that leads to, it's like a lighthouse on the end, isn't it? Yeah. And then the ruins of her church are still there. And apparently there was a well, and the eels at the bottom of the well, what could they tell? Was it they could tell if a love was going to last?
If you were lucky, the well would boil up and you would see the eels, and they would tell of your future love or the direction of your future love.
Imagine how many Welsh couples were like, I guess we're moving to Ireland because all the eels are going off in that direction.
I'm really taking it for granted that she was more than that. She was a real pioneer, I guess. But I wonder if in the 5th century women were a bit more celebrated, because before we kind of got into the murky, the future of the I'm talking about, bloody Henry VIII and all these men.
3 for 3.
I think women were more celebrated. So I think she wasn't unique in that she had more aspirations for herself, because the earliest forms of worship and celebration were women. They were really held in high esteem, and it took a long time to kind of break that down. And I think people got threatened of fertility and that's when all of that started to kind of crumble for women.
And so, yeah, she was given a day of her own, 25th of January, to sort of celebrate love, basically. So my partner and I celebrate it, and by that I go, I like presents. There's this very important Welsh holiday. There's this very important day in the Welsh calendar. So this year I got my partner a love spoon. If you're not familiar, love spoons, you'll normally see them, they'll be wooden. You often give them as presents for weddings. Everything on them means something different. The snake is symbolic of health, immortality and fertility, and snakes are often used for immortality and infinity, aren't they, because the snake eating its tail. And then the foliage here is the little bits are for anything that's like trees, flowers, foliage, is that love will grow and blossom. So basically this is me going, shall we have a baby? It's not that. I gave him a love spoon, which I was very hard to get because this sells out really quickly, this stuff, and he got me, and I do love it, some Princess Diana bunting.
Oh, do you know what? Just count yourself lucky. Dim bead, Ambi. McDonald's, I told you that earlier, didn't I? Which is nothing to shout about.
No, love it. Love a bit of Mackie D's. You know what? We're in a Pando. Whatever gets you through, babe.
When I go to my local drive-thru in Bangor, they ask me how the kids are doing. I have no love spoons, and we didn't celebrate Santes Dwynwen, even though we're newly married, which is ridiculous. So Jonathan made this video years ago. He basically plonks down a bottle of gin, a daffodil, and a card that says "Uti shoti bagging." And that's my Santes Dwynwen. But he doesn't even do the act of it anymore. He just sends me the video again. With George Michael playing in the background. So you've won Santes Dwynwen this year.
Which George Michael song though?
Which one's that?
A Careless Whisper?
Yeah, which is about an affair. I was just thinking about the Diana Bunting and Santes Dwynwen. And I don't know if you've seen the Crown series 4. Have you seen Emma Corrin? Just amazing. And I was thinking, maybe Diana's like Santes Dwynwen. She was with a man who should have been frozen. Sorry, Charles.
He was very cold. Say that for him.
Cold. See the historical parallels. And she was young and full. And then Diana does the charity work.
Yeah.
He's basically bought you a modern day Santes Dwynwen Bunting.
Yeah, that's true. I guess there are parallels there, that although she doesn't like go off to an island and vow celibacy, she goes on a yacht with Jodie Al-Fayed, which isn't perfect like for like, but it's getting there. Yeah. So Santes Dwynwen, all this happened in the 5th century. Then I think a poet wrote about her in about the 14th century, and then the story was written in the 16th century that sort of popularised it. Isn't it beautiful? Because like the history of storytelling in Wales is that, you know, things are passed down and changed and they evolve just like the language has. So I think us evolving it into a feminist tale is absolutely in keeping efo hanes.
Dwi'n cytuno, but I think you're responsible for that. I was like, just get shagging Dwynwen.
Should we try a chat in Welsh?
Yes. So for my minute, Kiri, I'm going to do something a bit different, gwahanol, and I'm going to try and describe a story that I heard about Neolithic Druids who've kind of taken the story of Santes Dwynwen.
Okay.
So I'll try and do it in Cymraeg.
Oh, yeah, da iawn.
Mi na I drio I esbonio stori am dan Santes Dwynwen. Felly, tua Neolithic, amser Neolithic, mae'n y llawer o druids pwy sy'n dod symud I Ynys Môn. Ac mae o'n credu yn pethau am dan witchcraft, popeth fel hon. Felly, mae nhw'n trio I ffeindio cariad drwy ritual. So, dwi'n esbonio ritual rwan. So, os da chi eisiau ffeindio cariad neu fall in love efo rhywun, ti angen wneud model dyn fel be di enw o'r ti'n gwybod those dolls and if you
like
make
voodoo
yn union, so wneud doll voodoo ac wedyn ti yn beri voodoo o dan y lleiad llawn.
Cleddly? Is that to dig? Cleddly. Go on, sorry, carry on.
Na, mae'n iawn. Lleiad llawn. Ti'n gwybod lleiad llawn? Full moon.
Okay.
So, ar ôl y burial, ti yn angen darllen poem dros y bedd, grave.
Okay.
A dyma pam ti'n ffeindio... No, dyma sut ti'n ffeindio love. Okay. That was long and also... I'm not sure it made sense.
So, you said, I'm going to try and explain a story about Santes Dwynwen. But then you said that like in the Neolithic time, lots of druids came to Ynys Môn, and you said, and then there was this ritual, and then you said something about like witchcraft, but I didn't understand the word on the way in. What was it? I want to know.
Credu.
Credu, yeah, bedi credu.
Believe.
Credu. Okay.
So C-R-E-D-E, like a U.
Credu, yeah.
You might hate them in credu fo. Don't believe it.
Oh. Yeah, you basically said that there was stuff to do with witchcraft, and then you said this is the ritual they used to do to find love, and is it that they would like make a model like a voodoo doll of a man?
Yeah.
And then they'd dig a little and bury it in the ground. But then I didn't get the stuff about the grave, how they found.
So at all the burial again? Clyffi, at all the clyffi.
Claddu. C-L-A-D-D-U. Claddu.
Claddu. At all the claddu. Mi fydda nhw, they would darllen poem, read a poem dros, over, a bedd, the grave.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's how you would find a man or love.
Okay, I'm going to try and talk. I don't think I can do a minute. Dwi'n licio diwrnod Santes Dwynwen achos dwi'n wrth y môr efo prynu be gift present
anrheg.
Any excuse de. Felly dwi'n prynu llwy gariad am fi'n nghariad efo neidyr, a bedi foliage.
Ddim syniad.
Llysiau, na, that's vegetables. Dim coedyn, not trees.
I'm gwybod.
Coedyn bach.
Yeah, coed bach.
Oh no, bedi dim dail.
Oh, leaf.
Yeah.
Wow, dwi'n meddwl.
Yeah, neidyr a dail. Yeah. I was gonna. I've done too long anyway. But I was gonna go, and I was gonna go, and this stands for. But I'm like, I don't know what fertility is in Welsh. It's not on my to-do list, and I don't know what strengthening a couple's bond is either. But I just like buying things.
Well, strength is crave.
Yeah, crave.
Oh, it doesn't make sense. Crave a cariad. Strength of love.
A llwy is it llwy cariad? Yeah, llwy gariad. Oh, bloody hell. Pobl. I can't remember. Dwi ddim yn cofio. Give.
Rhoi. Fucking
hell, yeah, rhoi. Pobl rhoi llwy gariad am priofdas?
Yeah.
Like marriage. Yeah. Oh my god, that was so hard.
You said, I like St. Dwynwen Wednesday, because it's my favourite wrth y modd to buy presents. Or get presents. Prynu to buy presents, yeah. I like to buy presents. I got a love spoon, and it means snakes.
Maybe I just said ever, as in with.
Oh, with snakes, sorry, yeah, with snakes and small trees
Small trees is what I went for, yeah.
and leaves.
A,
Oh,
dwi'n, dwi'n gweld rwan, uh, diamond
oh,
am lwcus dda.
good luck, yeah. There's some lovely little, like the way Welsh is phrased. I love Heatherly, the police, not the establishment. It's very problematic at times, but I like that it translates as peace army.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Another one I really like, so if I was saying about your partner, I'd say Cariad Kiri, Kiri's love. That's
Yeah.
nice, isn't it?
Well, I think that's like Hariad, like your boyfriend, literally means like my love.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. What a moment for a work email to intercept.
Well, Santes Dwynwen did love her work, so you've brought this all full circle.
I am Santes Dwynwen. Gobeithio dach chi'n hoffi yn gwrando pawb.
Yeah.
You all enjoyed listening, everyone.
Edrych.
Yeah, edrych hefyd. Yeah.
Achos dwi'n neud fi colir. Felly, o'n i isio pobl ti'n meddwl, croen dda. So basically, I said I'm wearing a lot of makeup and I wanted people to think, oh, nice skin. So I don't want you to just listen to this. I want you to look at it as well.